I've been there before, and I haven't. I mean, I know it well. I guess I should go down, but the whole point of it is I haven't had a whole hell of a lot of time to get down.
What? He's had plenty of time. He's had 10 months. He's had time to meet with influencers like Olivia Rodrigo. So that's what he's been doing, not getting down to the border. You remember some of these photos here. Here he is with Olivia Rodrigo, the two snapping a selfie at the White House back in July. Now in August, it was the dude with the sign, Seth Phillips, at the White House. This dude gets it, folks. I guess more so than any of our Border Patrol agents that he doesn't want to meet with. The White House also enlisting TikTok influencer Benny Drama. Cooper the intern, you may know him as. He starred in that parody as the Gen Z guy at the White House. So they were filming those, but no time to go to the border, of course. Let's welcome in host of Stinchfield here on Newsmax TV, Grant Stinchfield. Also joining us, Newsmax White House correspondent Emerald Robinson. You know, sometimes I watch these town halls with amazement, Grant and Emerald, and, you know, I was shocked yesterday to hear some of the non-answers from Merrick Garland, and then to go home last night and watch the Braves lose again, of course. Wasn't shocked by that. But then to see Joe Biden as well say, oh, you know, I should get down there, Grant. Yeah, you should get down there. You should have gotten down there months ago.
Look, I've been saying for a long time, forget about Kamala Harris. I don't care that she's the border czar. She's an empty suit. She's a nothing. I want to see the president down there. The president needs to be there. He said he's been to the border. I don't know when. I've seen reports that no one can find any actual time that he's actually paid a visit to the border. So I think it is about time. He loves to go and look at damage from storms and things. So why is he going down to the real storm that's on the border, an invasion of America, and talk to Border Patrol agents down there? That's something he needs to do.
He absolutely. Yeah, go ahead,
And you know, John, I was just going to say, Border Patrol is still at the border. There's still crossings on Saturdays and Sundays. I know because I went there.
Yeah.
So he usually takes Saturday and Sunday off. But technically, I mean, there's still people down there he could talk to. He could go on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'd love to see
Delaware.
A show of hand. I mean, you know, every single Republican member of Congress, I think, has been down on the border. They all go down there. But, you know, to Grant's point, I think what was the point of appointing Kamala Harris as the border czar was to take the heat off of Joe Biden. But, Grant, you're absolutely right. He is the one responsible for all of this. And 70 days since he took office, he's been in Delaware. I mean, you know, they used to rip Trump for playing golf. I mean, he was actually meeting with people like actual lawmakers when he was on the golf course, at least. We don't know what Joe Biden's doing.
That's
no,
actually a good
apparently
point.
he can't sleep at the White House. He can't sleep at the White House for some reason. I don't know whether they don't have the right flavor pudding for him there or not. But and then he goes on vacation all the time. I don't mind presidents taking vacation. I don't mind presidents playing golf. I never criticized Barack Obama for it. I'm not going to criticize President Trump for it. I'm not going to criticize Joe Biden for it. If you're actually working, you know, and look, you got a nuclear football with you all the time. I understand the stress of that. You're going to go play golf. You're still the commander in chief. No big deal. The problem is Joe Biden, I'm not sure he's even working when he goes to Delaware. I think he's taking naps. I think he's just whatever, decompressing, trying to figure out what his next move is going to be or what the person is going to tell him his next move is going to be. But he's not engaged. This president is out to lunch, and I think there are really serious signs of him in mental decline.
He's not talking to the press either. So, you know, he's ignored the border crisis, the supply chain crisis, the failed Afghan withdrawal. Yesterday, Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about when's the next news conference going to be. Here's that.
But Brian, he takes questions all the time.
I hear you. I'm just adding my request to that.
Martha's here. She tracks that.
Yeah, and he's had a chance to ask him.
I get it. But this is a large White House press corps. But he does take questions.
Emerald, I don't know exactly where you were in that moment, but I could hear your eyes rolling from here. I mean, he takes questions all. No, he doesn't. He doesn't take questions all the time.
He doesn't take questions.
Yeah.
He takes very limited questions in very limited settings, and then if he does have any kind of press availability, it's extremely structured and stage managed. Someone like me does not get to go in there. He has a list of friendly reporters, many times it sounds like with pre-planned questions that he calls on. You're just never going to see anything with Joe Biden like we saw under the Trump years where it was a free-for-all. There was so much access to the leader of the United States, and really everybody at some point pretty much that I know got an opportunity to ask President Trump questions. You're not going to see that here because of what we saw in the town hall last night when he got to the critical questions and they weren't prepared or they weren't pre-scripted. Like with that border question, he really botched that, saying, well, I guess I should get down there, but I don't really have the time. That's not the messaging that the White House would want to put out there.
And you saw how like deferential the reporter was to, oh, I'm sorry to even ask this question, but you know, I got to get, sometimes it's just, oh, anyway.
That's how it is in
John,
the press
you know,
briefings,
we
like
played-
every time.
Go ahead, great.
We played a montage of Joe Biden at the end of every one of his speeches,
Yeah.
and literally he's got the pivot down to a science. I mean, it's this move right here, Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President, and off he goes, shuffling
It's pretty good,
out
Grant.
of the room. I mean, that's what he does. He's got the pivot down.
It's the Biden
man.
shuffle, Grant.
Yeah, you know, another thing I
That's
love.
what it is. I think he's actually afraid of you, Emerald, because you're the only one asking questions there. You, and I'll give Ducey credit too, but you and Ducey are the only ones asking real questions.
Yeah, you can tell how
you know-
excited Jen Psaki is to take your question too, Emerald. The other one you got in the other day. I mean, just so
loves me.
dismissive, condescending. Like she does not respect the process. Clearly, for folks like you.
Well, no, she doesn't want to take any questions that are tougher or you know, critical of the administration. Jen really thought when she came in she was going to have a very friendly, easy press corps, an easy time. She didn't think that the media would focus on any of their crises. And even though the media does overlook a lot, there's been too much to ignore. And so it's been tougher than she expected. But I have noticed, and I will give some credit over the last couple of weeks, and I think you guys might have noticed too, more people are yelling out and more people are following up and kind of holding her feet to the fire. So it's it's slowly happening. But it's happening a little bit.
I think it gets to a point. I mean, even the follow-up question. I hate to ask. I mean, I'm sorry to even ask. I would love to see. You know, this isn't Helen Thomas. I mean, this is there's no like. You know, this isn't Brit Hume taking on Ronald Reagan. There's nothing like that. Nothing like Jim Acosta's kind of feigned powerful. I'm Jim Acosta. Nothing like that with this administration. It's hard to watch from here.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.